Hi there. In this video, you're going to learn how to simplify complex fractions and find unit rates. First thing you need to know is what a complex fraction is. So complex fractions are fractions with a numerator, denominator, or both that are also fractions. So I like to call them ugly fractions. So here's an example. We have 20 over 1/2. Notice the 1/2 is in the denominator, therefore it is a complex fraction. All right, here's our first problem. It says simplify 1/4 over 2. The first thing I want you to do before you do this problem is to understand that a fraction bar is the same thing as dividing. So I'm going to rewrite this problem as a division sentence. So it'll be 1/4 divided by 2. 1/4 divided by 2. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to solve this. 1/4 divided by 2 is the same thing as saying 1/4 divided by 2 over 1. And if you remember from our dividing fractions lesson, in order to solve this, you would have to change this to the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2 over 1 is 1/2, and then you would multiply 1/4 times 1/2. And then just go straight across. 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 2 is 8. So 1/4 over 2 is equal to 1/8. Again, all I did here was change it to a division problem. And then how do we divide fractions? We have to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so here is our next example. We have simplify 1 over 1/2. So it says write the fraction as a division problem. So that's what we're going to do first. Write the fraction as a division problem. 1 divided by 1/2. Right? And then we're going to multiply the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1. So, again, when you divide fractions, you multiply the reciprocal. So you just do 1 over 1 times this 1/2 gets flipped to 2 over 1. And then you just multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. So your answer would just be 2. So 1 divided by 1/2 is equivalent to 2. Here's how to find unit rates. If you remember, unit rates just mean per one. When the fractions of a complex fraction represent different units, you can find the unit rate. So, Josiah can jog 1 1/3 miles in 1/4 hours. Find his average speed in miles per hour. First thing you're going to do is you're going to write a rate that compares the number of miles to the hours. So here's the number of miles, 1 1/3 over 1/4 hours. Right? So there is our rate, miles to hours. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this as a division problem. 1 1/3 divided by 1/4. Then we're going to take this mixed number and make it into an improper fraction. How do we do that? 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So it'll be 4/3 divided by 1/4. And then we're just going to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4 over 1. So then you can just multiply across. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 1 is 3. So it'll be 16/3 or 5 1/3. So in other words, Josiah jogs at an average speed of 5 1/3 miles per hour. All right, and here is our next example. Tia is painting her house. She paints 34 1/2 square feet in 3/4 of an hour. At this rate, how many square feet can she paint each hour? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to write a ratio that compares the number of square feet to hours. So how many square feet? 34 1/2. So it'll be 34 1/2 over 3/4 hours. Next, we're going to write the complex fraction as a division problem. So we're going to do this divided by this. Right? 34 1/2 divided by 3/4. How do we solve this? Well, first we need to take that mixed number and make it into an improper fraction. So 2 times 34 is 68, plus 1 gets me 69 divided by 3/4. And now for dividing by a fraction, you actually need to multiply the reciprocal. So you flip the 3/4 around. And then you would just solve it. So you can solve it by simplifying first, or you can solve it by multiplying across first. So if you multiply across, you would get 276 over 6, which gets you 46 as your answer. So Tia can paint 46 square feet per hour. Some concluding thoughts. I want you to think of a complex fraction as a division problem. As division. I want you to rewrite mixed numbers to improper fractions, and I want you to remember that unit rates means per one. Okay? So I hope you learned about complex fractions and unit rates.